An individual against the odds. We are Sebastián Blancas and Moises de la Rosa, students of the Accounting and Finance degree from the Tec de Monterrey, enrolled in the subject of violence and dignity. Matter that has opened our ideals about the current situation in our country, in addition to thinking about the violence that we experience day by day, in order to generate strategies that coincide with the population about what are we currently experiencing, in addition to publicize cases that they can shock more than one. But today we won't talk about ourselves. We will talk about a case that has helped us open our eyes. We will talk about Ariel, a person who was born with mental disability and who has to live different experiences in which discrimination was present. He was born premature, that is, at 7 months, so the doctors told his parents that his lifespan would be short. He would have difficulty breathing and some problems at the time to speak. Currently, Ariel is 30 years old. He studied psychology and comments that during his school days, he had difficulties with teachers who saw him as someone less. But on his way, people appeared who did not see him indifferently. On the contrary, they were looking for a way to help him with his teachers and thus be able to be taken into account. Ariel did not want this to be a problem that would affect him professionally, and it is that over the years he has been able to lead a healthy life, his speech improved, and thus interact with people who loved him. Based on this, we will now present a fragment of the interview that we conducted with him, and he gave us permission to record, in order to learn more about his story and the case of violence that he experienced.
After hearing with a little more detail the life and experiences of Ariel, it's easy to see that his life hasn't been easy, but he realizes that having a strong and supportive relationship is essential to overcome any difficulty. He has admitted that he knew he had to improve his communication and social skills in order to achieve his personal and professional goals. So I believe Ariel is a great lesson for each one of us because we know it is scary to change, but those changes can lead to the things we want the most. Also, it's important to punctualize what he shows. We all have the capability to improve. We only need to have the desire. Also, during the event of Human Books, we were able to ask Ariel more questions about his opinion regarding the wave of inclusion within companies. And he said something really interesting. Ariel believes that inclusion within companies and work environments is not really inclusion. He states that it's very common to hire people with disabilities, but they are laid off very quickly because they cannot meet the standards for the job. What he meant is that the companies are not willing to sacrifice efficiency and productivity levels for having disabled employees. So that is why they are fired almost instantly. So the inclusion is non existent. Ariel also talked about a current project he's in, where he's part of a committee to solve issues that may present within the school and their alumni. And he told us about a teenager who had a problem recently, and what he told us about it, and what he wanted to express was the importance of the raising period on a child and his development. He says that it's very common for the parents uh, to not be in this period, so another relative comes and raises the kid. For example, the grandmother, the uncle, the aunt. So we talked about this because we believe Ariel is an example of this. He even talked about a period of time in his life where he lived with his grandmother, and his uncle was there and he was very um, non-supportive whatsoever. So we believe Ariel is an example of this. Like he said, he had a lot of support, not only friends but his parents were always there for him. So Ariel has been able to achieve his goals partially because of this. So in order to conclude, we wanted to finish with this. It's not only important to be able to ask for support in any given moment, but we also believe it's also important to be able to give that support to our closest, because having a backup system is key to feel confident enough to try and give effort for the goals we want the most.